Welcome to Milk Market Tidbit for the January milk production report that USDA released on Friday afternoon. This is Dr. Lawrence Jones, and I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, February the 23rd. So the milk production report is always our first report of the month, and we're going to get the cold storage report this next week, followed by the dairy products report at the end of the month or beginning of next. So when we were going into this report, if you remember from the Federal Milk Marketing Tidbit, I was suggesting that we should be about 1.8% up month over month, because historically that's pretty close to where USDA is. And so these were the numbers that I had put in as typical. And really, it couldn't have come out any closer to target than what it did. So first off, we had some minor revisions. The ones that dropped are in red. The ones that went up a little bit are in green. So for example, cow numbers went up about 4,000 cows. The milk per cow came in right where we expected it to. Cows were probably 7,000, a little higher, but that's noise. And we were up 1.9%, and we thought about 1.8. And StoneX was also very, very close. So going into this, I thought that we would be pretty close here. So if we look at these cow numbers, we had a big drop down. Now we're up about 41,000 from a year ago, but remember a year ago, that was that really low point, in the early part of 2024 there. One of the things I want to look at is in early 2024, we were really losing cow numbers, and then we've really come back. So if we look at this next slide, which is the slaughter rate, we know we've been slaughtering fewer animals, and the last one was February 2nd, and that was 4,000. But if you look back into this, 2023, 2024, we were calling it a 33, 34% slaughter rate. We now come down to 29. So what does this tell us? Is anytime we're up in that 30, 31, 32% slaughter rate, we're going to lose cow numbers. We get into that 29 and we're going to gain cow numbers. So that really seems to explain at least this recent data. Now with this report, we can actually estimate the number of replacements, because cows go only a couple different ways. They either get slaughtered, they stay in the herd, or they die. So right now I'm estimating about 0.74 replacements per cow, and that would support a 37% turnover rate. You take away, 7% dead, so that says we can call right around 30% and break even. And that's pretty much what we're finding here. So for a long time, we were on this really uptrend of daily production in the herd. Now for the last 3 years, we've been very much on this downtrend, and we've really left that uptrend. And so again, I would look at this and say, boy, this is probably a bit bullish, because we've got production under control. Whenever we get the milk production report, I like to compare it to what the Federal Milk Marketing data said, because whenever you see the blue line down, you know that milk is leaving the pool. Whenever you see the blue line above, you know that milk is coming into the pool. There are times when we just have very little depool and it all stays pretty much the same. And then this particular month, milk clearly came into the pool. And approximately 66.3% of the milk was pooled. I think last month it was about 63. We had a little depooling of both class 3 and class 4. With the futures on Friday, it looks like there should be basically little or no depooling until Q4. So no time, before October is the spread more than 75 cents. It about hits it in September, but whenever it's less than 75, you're probably not going to have any depooling. And so that means that these have really narrowed up here. Now next month, it looks like class 3 is going to be higher than class 4. And just as a side note, whenever this bottom line number is less than $1.48, that means the higher of is a bad deal, because taking the average of these two and adding 74 is better. This is milk per cow, and kind of the same scenario we talked before. We're in this long-term uptrend, and we've really broken it. And really, you could say we're back to 2022 kind of numbers at this point. And again, I would look at this and say, at least the industry has kind of controlled growth. And again, this is going to be in response to better fat. So my prediction for the fat in the agricultural prices is up about 1 tick, which is 4.47. If we get that, that means fat month over month will be up about 2.1%, so up fairly significant, more than what milk was. So this last week, we had the global dairy trade, the advanced prices, national dairy sales report, and then of course this is our milk production report. Next week, we're going to get the cold storage report on Wednesday, which will be the next milk market tidbit, and that will come along with the national dairy sales report. And then the end of the week, we'll get the agricultural prices.